So folks, good evening. This public hearing is called to order at 6:31 p.m. on Monday, March 9th, 2026 at 1625 Ocean Avenue, also known as East Midwood Jewish Center. And so the purpose of this hearing is to hear public testimony with respect to the Register of Community Board budget requests for the preliminary budget for the city's fiscal year 2027 capital and expense budgets. So the Register is a record of Community Board 14's budget requests and agency responses. The Community Board submitted budget priorities based on community recommendations, board member input, and service delivery data. And so if you would like to comment on the agency responses to CB14 requests, please raise your hand, and when called upon, state for the record your name and if you are a CB14 resident or with a community organization prior to giving testimony. So the first speaker will be Sean Campbell, District Manager.
That was fun. Thank you. Good evening. I'm usually very prepared for this public hearing, and I feel a little bit at a loss tonight because hopefully you have all had an opportunity to review the responses to our budget priorities, and in that review you might have noticed that and I'm just going to play with words a little bit, the responses are non-responsive, and you might also notice we're going a little broken record because this is just the many-th year in a row that the agency has not been responsive. I've spent, in the past 15 years of doing this I figured it out, like 300 hours on this document. And for the city to respond in the way they did, they improved. Last year there was, we were aghast because there was a response that agencies could use where they asked us to remove the request. This year they replaced that with the request has already been completed. So, when we ask for affordable housing and they say the request has already been completed, so I'm unprepared because I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. I just don't know what to say. So here are, I can either take a break now if people want to, react and provide feedback, or I can lay out sort of like 3 options I thought of. But does anybody have any responses that got their goat?
Yeah, so thank you for that breakdown, District Manager Campbell. Yeah, so I had several, okay. Let me not monopolize the time. So I'll go in no order. There's a few that made me scratch my head. So I did scratch my head with the School Construction Authority because they said, they need more info from the board, and I was confused about that because I thought, isn't that what the explanation does? Like, doesn't that say the info? So what is that? So that made me scratch my head. For DEP with the Capital Green Infrastructure, I honestly don't know why it was all in caps lock like they were yelling. Like, if you look at that, it looks like it's all caps lock like they're yelling, and so I don't know why they did that. And I didn't understand why they said they couldn't support the request because I thought that request is their job. So that was that one. The HPD, more low-income housing, there's a couple of them. I know I've seen that answer in the years past. It was legit copy-paste. Like, I'm pretty sure if I went to the prior budget request, I've seen that copy-paste answer. The Transit Authority, again, how can both responses say they don't support and cannot accommodate, and then they do the caps lock yelling again? And then I also thought, how is it not the job of the Transit Authority to repair or upgrade subway infrastructure? Isn't that what your job is? So that was another thing. I did like ACS's response. I thought ACS's response had some policy stuff regarding programs that I had no idea existed. And so I did like the fact that they listed those programs. Personally, what I would love to know is, okay, so what is the expected versus actual impact of the programs that they list? But I did feel like ACS did actually list those out. And then there was one thing that got me. Some of the responses would say they need another funding to meet this. It's like, well, this is a capital and budget expense request, right? And that's the other thing too. It's not the grammar, but we're neither here nor there, right? The DOB response for Airbnb, that made me scratch my head because they said, yeah, it's with the mayor's office of special enforcement. I thought, okay, but don't you have people who can talk to the mayor's office of special enforcement to give you this stuff? I don't know, right? Like, I'm asking these questions, you know what I mean? So I had many more, and then, of course, the Newkirk Plaza felt like a runaround answer again. So, yeah, those were just some of several things that I had in terms of how I felt as I was going through that stuff. So, yeah, that's it from me. And you said, Marcia, did you have... Oh, Lana? Did you have some thoughts about this stuff or no? Am I wrong?
You can shout it out, and then I just, hi, I'm Alina. I just wondered if the responses from agencies, if the nature of the responses in any way reflects the quality of the relationship you all feel like you have with each respective agency.
No, I think the question is that a reflection of the rapport we have with agencies, and typically no. I think that the people that are liaisons to the agencies that we work with to address service delivery issues are sort of in a different department than the sort of the budget people, and that's been one of our things. So we have discussed with Department of City Planning and the Office of Management Budget our concern that their process is flawed, and we actually, not last year but the year before, wrote a letter to the two directors. Appreciate it. Saying that we weren't even going to respond agency by agency because it was sort of a folly to respond to non-responses. But then last year, I also, then don't want to bite off our collective noses despite our collective faces, right? It's an opportunity to once again say, yeah, but we need the thing. Our service delivery requests are, through the roof on tree pruning or whatever it is. So I don't think that it's a relationship issue. I think it's a process issue. And so one idea I have for responding to this year's initiatives is said at the beginning of this year, I was going to try to be really optimistic in this administration and say, welcome, new director of O&D, Sharif Solomon, and new director of Department of City Planning, Sadea Sherman. We're very excited for your new roles and trust that you can do better than this. Like it's, pretty low bar. And so that, I'd put it more politely, and I should probably be more polite. But that is one idea. Are you calling me on together?
Yeah, so I got Gail and Joe.
First of all, I just would like to thank you, Sean, for all of these years that you've been going through this. I appreciate you and the way that you crafted and how professional and tactful you were. And I know blood was coming through everywhere when you responded, but you handled it in such a professional way. So I thank you for that. And what I guess my question is there anything that we as a community can do, can reason, or what can we do? Because this is real. It really is.
Yeah, I think to be determined, but it's something that we need to talk about in committees. I think a lot of these, there's sometimes we put it on agendas, and maybe I'll try to work with the committee co-chairs to get more disciplined about this, but we should be putting our district needs statement on our agendas just to sort of touch base with it, and committee participation in the rollout of the next time around, whatever shape that takes. And it doesn't end here. This budget document isn't the end and the beginning of our service delivery and our advocacy for our organization. So I think just being present on some of the causes that we do have in front of us is where it's at. Does that? And thank you for the kind words, but it's it's a group effort. It's the board, it's the community members who take the time to call us and let us know things are going on in the district, and who think that we matter, or else they wouldn't bring up their concerns to us.
I do get that, but everything that I look at and is received, it has your name on it.
Thanks.
Everybody is excellent.
Thank you, Gail.
It's really you that's out there all of the time.
Holding my tongue. Thank you, Gail. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. So we got Joe Dwight and then Christy. Go.
I echo Gail, your perseverance is unbelievable. But is there anything, they're not doing it against CB14 personally, it's against all the community boards. So to that end, is there anything Brooklyn can do, the community, or the Brooklyn Borough President or others, some sort of united discussion with them to say, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, those conversations take place with Brooklyn colleagues, and Carol Ann Church from the Brooklyn BP's office is here with us tonight, and she's heard us she convenes our borough service cabinet meetings, so, hears about it a lot. And we also, have raised it with the Future of Community Boards group, which is our citywide working group. We have had meetings with DCP, and they continue to promise to continue to strive to do better. But it's very, Charlie Brown with the football, right? But it certainly isn't just, kind of back to your question about relationships. It isn't, some boards aren't getting better responses than others. And really, I think there's one easy solution is to, and I've said it to DCP, they've got to get rid of the drop-down menu. They've got to not allow city agencies to just drop down this menu and pick an answer, because those drop-down answers are ill-conceived and ill-matched to the request to begin with. And then just, your city workers use your words. So I think Christy was next.
Yes, so we have Christy and then,
Thank you. So my follow-up question is I'm looking at the DEP one where the explanation or response is please contact the agency directly and promptly. So when you get that, it's dropped down and that's frustrating. But my question to you, process is there a contact for, this is about green infrastructure, but even if it's about flooding. So if your follow-up question was who do I contact, is there what's the contact?
Well, they make us go through our agency liaisons, so I kind of know who to contact to start the conversation. Then we've had some green infrastructure projects, so I know the CCLs for those. But those aren't the policymakers either, right? So,
Excuse me, for example. In that case, you're talking to a project manager about a specific project maybe, or a local rep type thing?
So I think, though, I don't have a very direct answer to your question other than to say when I'm feeling especially frustrated, one thing I imagine myself doing if I really wanted to express my frustration is sending them a link to our website that has dozens of meetings, a town hall, committee meetings, and reports from planning fellows. Like we contact you all the time. You've been before. So, there's different people to contact for different projects, and then there's the elected officials who fund them from the outside as well. I feel like we're in pretty good, healthy communication with all of those stakeholders.
Nina?
So, in New York City, and are other districts within Brooklyn getting a more positive response? Do you know?
Not on this document. I mean, are there programs in other districts that are more fruitful? There are projects in other districts that are moving forward. But no, not in this process. We're all getting the same thing. We actually, have gone through all 59 registers and documented the times that they are not responding meaningfully. And we've done that across the borough, and maybe the city, certainly the borough. It's the same person doing the same thing. so it's the same answer. And Nina, affordable housing's been, they did it already. That was the response. This request has already been completed. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the Bedford thought developments. That was an as-of-right development that had some units with higher AMI affordability. Every building like that has come before this board through an application, so you would know which ones, Avenue H, Portelia Road, Aurelia Court, the 1640 and 1620 Portelia. So those are the ones for that. And then 100% affordable developments, that would normally be on city-owned land. So we haven't had one of those since Caton Flats. You might recall that the Flatbush Shackleton Burial Ground was identified as potential housing until the human remains that were identified as enslaved Africans were discovered. So, and then as far as public land in this district, we don't really have any. I mean, it's why we can't get another park. We can't get the precinct house relocated, and it's hard for the affordable housing development. But stay tuned because there are changes in through the charter, through City of Yes. Maybe that will work. Back to this. Any?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, Sean, do you think that there is some change in the system that's causing this kind of real frustration? Because it's like this has been going on for...
So again, I don't know. Department of City Planning kind of has to give up their value of this way of doing it, because we didn't always do it this way. It's only been since I forget when they changed it to this, 2018 or something like that. We used to just write a report, and then our budget priorities were separate. So let's go back to me being hopeful, since it doesn't happen every day. We'll work with this new administration, the new ONB and the new DCP folks, and bring this to their attention as this is a process problem. Let's figure out a new way to do it this very year. And then the other thing I've talked to some colleagues about is not participating in doing this way. Like, we could abandon the portal. It sounds like animation you would like, abandon the portal. But we could sort of do not a work strike, but a work differently, and do our own reports our own way that we think better serves our community. So, but what that looks like, that comes from talking to about 59 district managers, and district managers are funny people. So we'll see where we land. Melissa. So I'll try to prepare for all upcoming committee meetings. The sort of we'll extract the relevant portions of the register and the district needs statement and give everybody an opportunity to take a deeper dive and consider how to do that, not just once, but ongoingly, and kind of try to, when we have a presentation at a committee meeting, try to put the lens of the district needs statement on it and try to just be engaging so this isn't this one-off event. But having said that, I mean, I would like to write a process letter to OMB and DCP, much like we did last year. And we sent everybody on the board the letter of comment from last year, so you saw that layout, right? It was like, the process needs attention, but we will address the agencies agency by agency as we're directed to do. And then I was going to, instead of trying to rewrite a whole new narrative, pull out letters that we've written to. So in the cases where we have like flooding or the 7-0 precinct house, where we've written year after year letters of request, pull them out as sort of like addendum to the response. So, you know, where it says contact agency, I'll be like, see attached. And so it's a little bit of a project, and I forget how many days I have, but so I'll prioritize on the biggies and then work through the, and then there's some we don't really have to respond to, right? Like there were some encouraging responses like Lakeside and Flatbush African Burial Ground, and was there one more?
I did like ACS personally.
ACS I thought was a policy answer, and I was like, cool, come to a committee meeting with all of that, but you didn't answer the question. But I always like, ACS is like that at our budget consultations too. They're my favorite. I get a lot of policy information from them. So, you know, for instance, with parks, we can substantiate that we just wrote a letter in support. We've done 1% for parks. We just sent a letter for that. For libraries, this board sent a letter requesting the 0.5% of the city budget. For the station house, we have a lot of letters. For DEP, we have a lot of letters. So I think maybe just substantiating the work, like the community has been heard. Because that was another thing. They were like, reach out to the community. I'm like, every day. So that's my suggestion as to an approach.
So if I understand correctly, is it basically the recommendation, like what you're suggesting is, actually let me take this. So if I hear you correctly, District Manager Campbell, basically is your recommendation sending a letter of comment to DCP and OMB similar to the letter for the fiscal year 2026? Is that in a nutshell, basically?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Cool. And so let me repeat that recommendation. Do you have any other points to add? Or
With additional documentation of previously written requests.
Okay, let me write that down real quick.
Second.
Additional documentation of.
Previously submitted requests.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Submitted. Yes, I'm going to repeat that again. Give me a second. All right, yes, so let me repeat that again. Excuse me. So do I have so let me repeat this. So the recommendation, and District Manager Campbell, let me know if I have this correct. So the recommendation that I will then ask the board is sending a letter of comment to DCP and OMB similar to the letter for FY 2026 with additional documentation of previously submitted requests. Okay, great. So now that I got that right, now I will put the recommendation out there. Okay, so do I have a recommendation to send a letter of comment to DCP and OMB similar to the letter for FY 2026? Fantastic. And so are there any board members ineligible? Are there any board members abstaining? Are there any board members opposed? Okay, great. So that recommendation carries. Yes.
And I just want to say to members of the public who might not have received the letter of comment in advance of this meeting, it's all on the website. Go to the website and then go to budget, and you'll see there is we submit the district needs statement with the budget priorities around October. There are hearings that precede those, and then we get a citywide statement of needs. We did that hearing last month. We write a letter in response to that, and then we get this budget register with agency responses, and the letter in response to that we just determined tonight is called the letter of comment. So that's all in the drop down under the city budget. It's lots of fun. Take a look. What time is it?
Thank you so much. So that concludes this public hearing at 6:56 p.m. So hold on to your horses because we're starting again in 4 minutes for the general board meeting. So there we go.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, so Florencia, I'm writing it down.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much for sharing that. All right, so folks, friendly reminder on both sides of the table, we got these mics, so I keep repeating the same thing. These mics are supposed to be super sensitive and pick up all the side convos and all that other stuff, so RIP to Sarah and Patricia for getting in all their steps at the board meetings. And this meeting of Brooklyn Community Board 14 is called to order on Monday, March 9th, 2026 at 7 p.m. under the applicable statutes of New York State, the Charter of New York City, the board's bylaws, and Robert's Rules of Order. So the board's policy is to encourage detailed public discussion of matters before the board at our committee meetings and at public hearings. So consequently, excuse me, except by board members, there will be no public discussion at our regular monthly meeting of matters about which a public hearing or committee meeting has been held, and specific service delivery requests or complaints should be brought to the attention of these district offices staff by calling the board office during regular business hours or by visiting our website anytime. Other matters of civic interest may be brought before the board during our scheduled public comment period, which will begin tonight after all other business on the board's monthly meeting agenda has been concluded. And so, friendly reminder, no partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises will be heard. And persons wishing to speak during the public comment period were asked to pre-register. And so, Secretary, could you please call the roll?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. Shahibzada Shabir Ahmad. Wahil Ahmed. Carissa Alfonso. Gregory Alvarez, Hindi Bendel, Benjamin Bendet, Davina Bolanot, Christopher Bromson, Carl Henry Cesar, here. Florencia Changajita, present, Yvette Claire Jean, Elizabeth Dennis. Lisa Derrick. Joseph Dweck. Royson Ford. Gerald Gray. Suzanne Hargett. Musa Asun. Ian Hayes. Mordecai Husarski. Kashif Hussein. Nautica Johnson. Erica Phillips Jones. Kirsty Jutila. Nicole Lebenson Angulo. Alex Lesman. Donald Loggins. Sasha Masluski. Melissa Minnick. Ephraim Nierenberg. Asma Nusi. Eric Host. Ornella Parker. Present. Nora Pena. Suzanne Phillip. Zvi Plotska. Barden Prasant. Baza Ruhi. Nina Sapger. Joel Siegel. Gail L. Smith. Alexa Sommers.
Tova Svenberg, Rolanda Telesford Hastic, Abraham Treff, Deborah Valentin, Alana Wilson. You can. We have.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for confirming that, Secretary. So we have quorum. And so next up, the minutes. And so District Manager Campbell, did we receive any proposed changes to the February 2026 minutes via email? Are there any proposed changes to the minutes from the floor? So hearing none, do I have a motion to adopt the minutes of the February 2026 General Board meeting? Thank you so much. And so are there any board members abstaining? Are there any board members ineligible? Are there any board members opposed? Okay, so the motion carries. So next up, we have the district manager's report.
Me again. Just a quick report on a couple of meetings that are upcoming and have taken place. I reported out at the last meeting that we had done some outreach to the Office of Mass Engagement, and they finally set a date with district managers citywide. It's March 11th, and I'll be at the youth conference. But I have a high degree of confidence in my colleagues to bring concerns and questions, and to begin to form what I hope will be a fruitful relationship with them. They did ask us a couple questions, like what are the top needs in our district, and we suggested that they do take a look at our district needs statement. So it kind of goes to the conversation, like other ways of engaging, and one of the important things that we need from them is their support when we aren't getting response from a city agency, to give us that backup and make sure that we get response and hopefully the outcome that we need for our respective communities. We're waiting for a similar meeting with the city law department, and I will keep you posted on that. I'm working with Ed Powell, who is going to convene a legislative breakfast on behalf of the 70th Police Precinct Community Council. So I've been in touch with Florencia on this as well. It is where we plan to raise the issue of the police precinct house, inspired partly by Joe Dweck's impassioned speech from last month's meeting. That will take place in April after holidays, so I will probably be reporting to you all before that happens. That's just a note of service delivery. And then I want to raise an issue that isn't pertinent to this district, but a Queens, some of you may have seen press on this, but a Queens Community Board district manager was terminated from her position after 18 years a few weeks ago. It made the local press in Queens, the Queens Chronicle, and the way in which it took place was of concern to those of us who already understand that we are at-will employees, we serve at the pleasure of the board, yet to let an employee go, there still are rules and laws that need to be followed, such as the open meetings law. So because the practices didn't look right from our vantage point, we did submit a letter of support. You can call it that. It was worded delicately because I don't know the person or the reason, so I didn't want to stick up for the person so much as the process, because we are a city that processes the process of the process, and then so for this to happen without process was disturbing, and I just wanted to mention it here. I lent my name to the letter. It wasn't published, but if the Chronicle were to ask, I would have revealed the name, and so I thought with Carl's support and urging, transparency is the best policy. And that's my report for tonight.
Thank you very much for that. And so before I go to the chair's report, just a couple things. And so in no order, Brian Grady from Councilwoman Rita Joseph's office. So thank you very much for being here, Brian Grady. And then also Mary Kay Siri from Assemblymember Carroll's office. So thank you very much as well. And then I also see Noam Abrams right here, of course, front and center, from Senator Sam Sutton. Thank you very much. And also Carol Ann Church from the Borough President's office. So thank you folks very much for coming. Sweet. And so for the chair's report, so there's a couple things here. And so as always, good evening. To the Muslim community, I am wishing all of you a holy Ramadan. And to the Hindu community, I'm hoping that you had a festive Holi. For the Christian community, I hope that Ash Wednesday treated you well and that your Lent is a reflective one. And I do want to call out that March is Women's History Month. And so I do sincerely thank women for contributing to every aspect of society and striving to increase the spaces in which their voices are being heard and respected and championed as well. And so I did want to say that. So there's a couple things on this. On February 13th, I joined a decent-sized group of folks who went to a tour of the materials recovery facility in Sunset Park. And so that's way basically on the water, like past like the federal prison basically down there. And it's run by Circular Services, which is a public-private partnership with the city. And so there's a ton of interesting stuff. But the short story is apparently Circular Services operates 35 facilities throughout the country. DSNY pays the facility per ton for it to recycle and then process and sell the materials. And there's some sort of revenue sharing agreement as well. And so if basically sales from the recycled materials reach a certain threshold, then the revenue sharing with the city is triggered. And so honestly, it was, you know, we're all nerds here, right? Let's be real, we're all nerds here. So I'm just saying it was cool to see this part of like the trash infrastructure because I had no idea. And so I wholeheartedly thank Kara, because Kara was a tour guide. She was a ball of energy who was very informed about like policy and other things as well too. And then I also do want to thank Jason Ginsburg from the Brooklyn Solid Waste Advisory Board, because this is in the individual who had contacted the district office, and then the district office informed me. And so wanted to share that with folks. The next adventure that I went on was on Thursday, February 19th, I attended a virtual meeting, and it was about the long-term citywide Greenway expansion plan. And so this is a joint venture between Parks, EDC, and DOT. And so Alexis Taylor from EDC is the project director. Basically, they say they have 5 goals: increase equity in the city's Greenway network, enhance connections to parks and public open spaces, increase economic development opportunities, increase and encourage bike and micromobility use, boost public health and resilience, and create new destinations. It's a 19-month project. It started in January 2025. It's projected to end at the end of this year with like a report being like the final deliverable. And there's a survey for folks that they would like people to collect people's feedback. That deadline is for April 10th. And they said that the next engagement is going to be some borough-based outreach that's supposed to happen sometime in Q3 of this year. So there were many questions from the community boards in attendance. So I can't tell you all of them, but very high level, some of the themes were communication in general, specifically with community boards, because we've all heard community engagement before, right? So that was very much an important question and theme of questions that came up. The other one was funding. The other one was service delivery, city agency coordination, and future planning, because a good number of these questions were, hey, we've heard this community engagement dance before, so have you read these things called district needs statement where we've been calling for things for a decade, but you come here and put a greenway, this kind of question, right? And then there were questions about project prioritization, and then also themes about what would it look like to operationalize the greenway. So this is a very high level summary of like the themes of the questions that came out of this thing, but I was very glad that I was able to attend it. The next adventure that I went on was this past Wednesday, actually. I attended the swearing in of co-chief chaplains Reverend A.R. Bernard and Timothy Cardinal Dolan at One Police Plaza. And so several things of note. Both of these gentlemen are succeeding Rabbi Alvin Cass, who apparently had been the NYPD's chief chaplain for 60 years. So I had no idea the chaplains unit exists. I had no idea a person could even have a role for 6 decades like that. So that was wild to even know that. And fun fact too, the chaplains unit has been around since 1906. So another thing, right? Like it was crazy. And so, Oh, he was? Oh, shoot, I had no idea. Okay. So you see, I'm learning in real time. Like I had, so there's a hometown here. Oh shoot, okay, I had no idea. Thank you for pointing that out, Joel. I appreciate that. I didn't, right? And so, yeah, so Mayor Mamdani, Police Commissioner Tisch, Reverend A.R. Bernard, and Timothy Cardinal Dolan, they all spoke, and I thought they all said some thoughtful words in their respective ways too about the moment and what this meant and the service that these two gentlemen are gonna provide. And then, you know, just because I like to think about things, it got me thinking about the intersection of power, community faith, security, governance, and all these different ways as well too, right? So bottom line, I thank NYPD for inviting the community to this event, and I wish both these individuals good luck as they lead their fellow chaplains and helping to find, you know, helping the folks of the NYPD find that balance, right? Because that is a hard balance. And next up too, we did have a public hearing today on March 9th at the East Midwoods Jewish Center right here. And so the purpose was to hear public testimony with respect to the Register of Community Board budget request for city's fiscal year 2027 capital and expense budgets, right? So to recap, it's a record of our budget requests and the agency responses. So board members discussed the comments, points of clarifications, and additional questions that could be asked. Do board members have any questions or comments about what happened during that public hearing? Okay, so seeing none, do I have a motion for CB14 to send a letter of comment to DCP and OMB, similar to the letter for FY 2026, with additional documentation of previously submitted requests? Thank you so much. And so, are there any board members ineligible to vote? Are there any board members abstaining from voting?
One.
Okay, we have one abstention. All right, cool. Do we have any board members opposed? Okay, so the motion carries. So folks, thank you. Right, next up, Secretary Florencia Chang-Ajita. She attended the March 2nd Brookdale Community Advisory Board meeting. So quick recap. The Director of External Affairs reported on their Lunch and Learn series, and you can find that on YouTube if you search like One Brooklyn Health Lunch and Learn. Second thing is the emergency department renovations are almost complete, and the walkthroughs are being given, and their projected completion date is April 1st. The next thing is that Dr. Mary Mitchell, the ED Head of Nursing, reported that they're taking new measures to improve service for patients. And the other piece is that GI doctor, Dr. Chidi Omaliko, basically mentioned that March is colorectal screening month. The screening age is lowered to 45 because it's becoming more common in young people, and also mentioned some of the criteria for folks who should get a colonoscopy, you know, or a stool test, basically. So the other thing I want to bring up to folks, and so as it turns out, on Thursday, March 12th, Assemblymember Bishat Hermelin will be awarding Florencia Chang-Ajita and Rogine Ford. So both these women will be getting a Women of Distinction Award. So if folks would like to attend the event and cheer on our fellow board members, RSVP with the Assembly Member's Office. And on the other point, like if you're finding trouble doing that, then, you know, contact the district office for assistance as well too, okay? They're at capacity already? That's wild. Okay, so apparently.
Try anyway.
Yeah, try anyway. So shoot, okay, wow. Thank you for that update, that's crazy. Okay, and so now we're on to the recap of the Brooklyn Borough Board report, right? So the March Brooklyn Borough Board meeting took place on Tuesday, March 3rd. So some things to talk about. So I brought Jarrell Gray with me, and I introduced him to several folks at the meeting. So I also informed people that at the end of this meeting, I will no longer be chairperson. And so I say this sadly, but also part frustrated. Again, the borough president was not physically present. I say physically present because the director of community boards and also director of planning for Brooklyn was there, and they were representing him, but he physically was not present again. And so on March 28th, there will be a Brooklyn Parks and Open Spaces conference to discuss parks, equity, and stuff. And so I RSVP'd yes to attend that. Con Ed presented. So Con Ed presented on programs that folks could use to lower their bills, and there are various eligibility requirements that apply. But as soon as that video is posted on the Borough President's YouTube page, if you watch it, you can see the programs that they list, and they discuss the criteria as well. And then I mentioned a couple things. So I reminded folks that our upcoming 19th Annual Youth Resource Fair, come on, here we go. Trying to get up hype, I don't know. So that's coming up this Wednesday, March 11th from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. I did mention that at that moment in time, I didn't see the Borough Board meeting minutes posted on the Borough Board's website. I did call out a concern that I had with SUNY Downstate Brooklyn, specifically that I think their community engagement has been horrible since the funding was announced. And I don't think that it was great, but since the funding was announced, it hasn't been better either. And so basically what I said was, hey, significant moves have taken place, and unless you go to the website and click on progress, you're out of the dark. They don't have Gantt charts, and for folks who don't know, Gantt charts are timelines. They don't have contact info for points of contact and no points of contact listed. And so here's a reason why this matters, just some fun facts, because unless you read the newspapers or know this stuff, some of you may not even realize that. So first of all, they're doing SUNY Downstate in 2 projects, and they're both parallel. Project 1 is to prioritize modernizing the existing hospital. Project 2 is to construct a new hospital annex. So there is a group called WJL Architecture and Engineering who will lead the design work for Project 1. Their contact info is not on the website. Perkins Eastman's Architects DPC will lead the design work for Project 2. That's to construct a new hospital annex. Their contact info is not on the website. But guess what? Before Project 2 can begin, they have to demolish an out-of-service condemned parking garage. So in late February, Governor Hochul announced that Russo Development Enterprises, a women-owned business enterprise, it was given the contract to do that. Their contact info is not on the website. So if I didn't tell you that, unless you know these things, you wouldn't know either, and that's a problem, right? Because the fact is, it was a lot of advocates who found out that the state was going to close SUNY, so it doesn't feel better that these things are happening, and unless I chose to write this down, or you found the website and remembered, you wouldn't know either. That's a problem. So that's why I say that stuff. So what I respectfully demanded at the meeting was that I'm starting from the April Borough Board meeting through the project's completion. I want a representative from the state advisory group and project team to report back on the status. If they can't do it, I want to know why. And if they're not going to go to Borough Board, they need to go to each community board that's going to be affected, which is at least CB9, 17, and 14 to start. And so then after that, we had a very robust, lively discussion about the past, present, and future of community boards. So some of the key items that came up during this discussion: some boards are very scared, just scared, and some are upset about the upcoming term limits. And so the fear and anger are due to a combination of things, right? So in no order, it's the loss of vast, robust institutional knowledge, the existing lack of resources for community boards as the responsibilities increase, high variability in the quality of the people coming in, and also the desire and proof that the new people want to step up. And then the other piece too is some boards felt like some of their newer members are coming in with a single focus, and they're not able to balance that with the fact that your single focus can exist with a bunch of other people who have also additional foci as well. So this was a lot of stuff that we talked about, but I'm summarizing some of the key things. And another key point too was there was a very poignant point that said, hey, per the city charter, community boards are recognized as an independent agency in the city charter, but we are not funded and treated as such. That needs to change, right? So it was a very robust, lively discussion, and these are some of the key highlights of the things that came up on that stuff. So again, as soon as that thing is posted on the Borough President's website, if you want to kick up your feet, eat some popcorn, whatever you eat as a snack, and watch that stuff, go ahead. If not, this is the best you're going to get right here. And now we come to the election of officers. And so tonight we are holding annual elections for the executive committee. So before we do the musical chairs, there's a few things. And so first, I want to give an immense thanks to the current executive committee for your service to the board and community. All right, so you care and you treat people with respect. These are eternally important qualities, and I'm honored to have served alongside of you. So, Joe Dweck.
I want to thank you, Carl, for your leadership.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, good sir. When we do the musical chairs, I'm just moving like 4 feet. Like I'm just moving. Nina's keeping the seat warm for me. I'm going to move like right there. And so a billion thank yous to District Manager Sean Campbell and Community Coordinator Sarah Sklar and Patricia Olander. Right? So simple truth is they do more than we know. They keep us honest. And I wholeheartedly thank the 3 of you for consistently doing this all and more while going above and beyond. And as well, an additional super mega thank you to Sean for being my gateway to the community board and dear friend. And so, fun fact, we've been friends for nearly a decade, and it was nearly a decade ago when I told Sean in passing at the gym, hey, I want to know more about like local politics. And she said, hey, I'm the district manager of the community board of the district you live in. And I told her those words are made up. And so I did. It's true. I told her, I think you made up every single word. So I'm glad I actually followed up on that, because another universe I didn't, and I wouldn't be here today, right? And so I thank you very much for that, Sean. I really do. All right. So another thing too, thanks to all the members of the community who testified at public hearings, who came to board meetings, who attended committee meetings, they contacted the district office and more. I thank every single one of them for being able to make the time to show up and make sure we heard what they shared with us, because that's very important, right? And last but not least, I want to thank the board, all of you, right? Simply put, I thank you all for keeping me honest, keeping me on my toes, and pushing me to be a better community advocate and a person, right? So I do believe iron sharpens iron, and truly listening to what 50 people have to say on behalf of over 150,000 people, it's real, right? And so I thank all of you for that, because some of the things that we got through together, City of ES Housing Opportunity, finally, DEP and Parks are doing the Blue Belt Initiative in Prospect Park, right, for the flood mitigation, the Flatbush African Burial Ground. And then I want to remind folks of some of the things that are happening around us that should benefit a lot of us, right? We have the Shirley Chisholm Rec Center opening. We have the fact that SUNY Downstate Brooklyn did receive that funding. Now it's about the implementation, because we all know the devil's in the details. We have the Shirley Chisholm Pavilion and the monument, right? Like, we also have the Flatbush. We have a bunch of stuff that's coming, right? But at the same time, because we have to keep it real, there's a lot of future fights coming, because unless you're the select few, the grind stays eternal, right? So Newkirk Plaza, this decades-long agency ping pong game, it's trash. It needs to stop, right? Like, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Baseline budget increase for community boards, affordable housing, that's not going to change. That's a fight, right? The 7th precinct getting a new home. There's so many more. I couldn't list all of them, but there's some of them, right? And so, simple put, from the top, middle, and bottom of my heart, I thank all of you for giving me a chance to lead you and be beside you, right? It was an honor and a pleasure. And Barton, sports and weather in our hearts, right? Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm jumping in because I want to do a couple of things. I want to also thank the current executive committee members, and I want to make sure that the public knows, and maybe boast a little in front of the Director of Community Boards for the Borough President's Office. This board is unique in that it has a transition committee. And the chair, there's a term limit on the chair. So I want members of the public to know that we're not getting rid of him for any reason other than that. Because, Carl, it's been a pleasure to serve with you. And, you know, you're always your well-considered points of view, the joy that you even just expressed a minute ago when you learn new things. It's an inspiration in that, and that curiosity is valuable. But this is one of the few boards that's going to, the grace that it takes somebody in a leadership position on the dais to say, cool, I'll step aside, because with term limits, we need to make sure that board members have the opportunity to grow into the leadership position, have time to serve in the leadership position, and then stick around to serve as mentors for the next group that comes in. So I think this is a really, really special board in its capacity and willingness, and I'll say it again, in its grace in doing that. So thank you all. Thank you very much, Carl.
Thank you for that. And now the moment that we've all been waiting for, excuse me. And so for the slate of executive committee candidates, for chairperson, we have one nomination, Jarrell Gray. For first vice chair, we have one nomination, Eric Oss. He's down with a cold, so we have him here in spirit. For second vice chair, we have one nomination, Ornella Parker. For third vice chair, we have one nomination, Gregory Alvarez. For secretary, we have one nomination, Benjamin Badet. And for our members at large, we have one nomination, Melissa Minnick and Ozma Nuzzi. So for the positions that had a single nomination, and those are the positions of chairperson, first vice chair, no, right, second vice chair, third vice chair, secretary, and both members at large. Could the secretary please cast a single vote for those single nomination executive positions? You all saw it, right? She's like, I guess. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Florencia. So that being done, congratulations to the new members of the executive committee. And special congratulations to Jarrell Gray. Oh, you can get it. We do musical chairs right now. Yeah, okay. And now we do the musical chairs. Yeah.
Everybody take your seats, please.
Now we do musical chairs. That's it. Everybody's like, what? Yeah, right? It's hilarious.
So can we get another round of applause for the outgoing executive committee? I truly appreciate your leadership, service, and commitment to this board, and I look forward to quite literally picking up where you left off. And to Carl, can we give him one more round of applause? I'm thankful for your leadership, diligence, patience, unwavering commitment to this board, as well as your fine tailored suits. I got to get my suit game up. So April meeting, I got something special for y'all. And I hope you've already picked out your tracksuit for the April meeting, so you can calm it down just a bit. And to everyone here, Eric and Spirit, and to the new executive committee, I thank you for your trust. I look forward to continue to serve this board in this new capacity, and I'm excited for what's ahead. And that brings the end of the chair's report. So now we'll transition into the topical committees, where we have each committee co-chairs come up and give reports and items, beginning with the Transportation Committee, followed by Youth Services, Education, and Libraries.
Everyone, now I have a much quicker walk. This is great. I'm Benjamin Bendet, the co-chair of the Transportation Committee. Nothing to report from the previous, but going forward, we have a meeting on March 26th. We're going to have updates on the IBX, and we're also going to have an update from the DOT, which will be presenting on the Coney Island Avenue school safety improvements.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. Hey. Thank you, Carl. I like you in the audience. You're like loud and enthused. Hi, everyone. Ornella Parker, one of the co-chairs of the Youth Service Libraries Committee. Eric is my co-chair. He's out sick today. He's probably watching us on the live feed. So what was that? Last Thursday, we had our meeting for March. Of course, somebody would try to call me right now while I'm giving this announcement. Okay, we had our meeting on March. We had 3 agenda items. The first was we had a presentation from the School Construction Authority. They spoke about a new addition being built at PS 134. As you guys know, our district is one of the most over capacity in regards to seats across the city, but specifically even just the borough. So they are building a new addition to accommodate 372 new seats to PS 134. They're in the beginning process of that. So they came to announce to us it will take maybe a few more years to begin the actual beginning of the construction of it. So the design period is 12 months and then 2 to 3 years for construction. We did ask a question around what is going to happen to the students that are currently in that space, because that means they will either have to be dispersed across the other schools in our district, which are already at capacity, or another alternative. We're waiting to hear back from the SCA, and we're also going to reach out to our superintendent just to get a little clarity around the planning for those students and how it's going to impact their schooling within the next few years. Beyond that, our next agenda item was volunteers for our Youth Resource Fair, which is on what date, y'all? Wednesday, March 11th. Yes, I heard like scatters of it. So we're going to say together, Wednesday, March 11th. All right, remember, new start time for the event is 3:30. That's to accommodate our students that get out earlier. If you volunteered and you have a specific time slot, please be on time for your volunteer post. It makes a difference in how smooth the event runs, especially for those that are part of setup. Setup start time is at 1 p.m. Please get there 1 p.m. so we can start, all hands on deck. And then if you're someone for the welcome table, your start time is 2:30. We still need volunteers, of course, always for setup and breakdown. If you can help in those spaces, go online to our website, the CB14 website. There is a volunteer link to sign up, or reach directly out to the our district office. We also need one volunteer for the mock interview room. So that's different than doing the mock interviews. It will be like you're the person who is the room manager. So when kids come, you're gonna assist them sign up for a mock interview. You're gonna make sure the interviewers have their scripts for the interview. So it's just someone to help the flow of the room run a little smoother so the interviewers don't have to do both roles. So if you have not signed up yet for a volunteer role and you are like, yes, I wanna make sure this runs smoothly, that is a role that is still out there where no one has signed up for. It's the only one we don't have someone for. It's room assignment for the mock interview. So again, CB14 website, go to the youth conference. There's a link on there that says volunteer, and it'll bring you to like a Google form for you to sign up. All right, and then we also had two of our charter schools within our district. We had Coenda Collegiate Girls and Brooklyn Dreams Charter School present on what their offerings are. So they have come here and spoke during the public hearing, but as you guys know, that is timed to 3 minutes. So we actually got a really in-depth presentation from both schools around like what they offer, more than what the 3 minutes normally allocates. So if you're someone in the district that is looking for a school for youth, or you know anyone who's looking for a school for the youth, these are two options. You can find out more. Both of their deadlines are coming up for registration. One is March 31st and one is April 1st. So take a second, go on to WebEx, rewatch that video. The presentations are on there with like full details of like their school's offering. And then also, I see that Kadeem is in the audience, so you can always find him and speak. I don't see Bremda here today, but she typically is. And then that is it for our meeting that was on March 5th. I only have one more thing to share with you guys. At our last meeting, as a board, we voted on providing a letter of support around the 0.5% city budget, like supporting that. Right now, our mayor's current budget actually does not match that 0.5%. It's actually less than what's typically allocated to our libraries. So I wanted to share with you guys the opportunity. If you are someone who's truly passionate about this, want to make sure our libraries get that 0.5% of the city expense budget, there is you could testify at the library subcommittee hearing at City Council on Wednesday, March 18th. If you want to testify, you do need to sign up in advance, but beyond that, you can still send in like any written testimony that you might have. So again, if you are like really passionate and want to make sure, which I think we all are because we all agreed to giving that support, March 18th at 9 a.m. is when it starts, but I think that committee meets around 12. Don't quote me because it's based on how the meeting flows. But March 18th, if you want to be a part of the conversation, you want to provide your support for our libraries to move their budget to 0.5%, that is one of your opportunities to do so. If you have any other questions, y'all, please come find me, find Eric, find anyone on a part of our community board. Right, yeah.
See you Wednesday.
Sean, you beat me to it. I was turning back just for that. I will see you guys on
Wednesday, March.
Yes. Wake up, y'all. Come on. Remember, our youth are watching us. Y'all are sleeping in the audience.
You think the youth's on the live stream with my mom? The youth is on the live stream with my mom. I do want to give a couple shout outs to more community members that joined us. So Sabrina DeJost from Councilmember Farrell Lutz's office. Community Affairs from the NYPD Brooklyn South, Officer Skyers and Detective Joseph. Thank you for joining us. And then Taisha Allen from Assemblymember Bashar Harman's office. Pleasure for you joining us. And the next two committees that we'll have is Human Services, followed by Community Environment, Cultural Affairs, and the Economic Development Committee. So good evening, everyone. Again, Jarrell Gray.
Yvette Clear-Jean.
And we have a couple items to report from our last committee meeting. This one is a pretty big one. We had a presentation from representatives from the Maimonides Health Center that informed us in now less than a month, April 1st, the state will be moving forward with a partnership for the hospital system to join New York City Health and Hospitals. This is supported by a $2.2 billion grant, 5-year safety net transformation grant to stabilize operations, budget, upgrade infrastructure, expand access to specialty care across Brooklyn, and improve coordination amongst its campuses. The team explained that the April 1st transaction will shift essential services to under H&H with no changes to labor agreements or staff, while generating an immediate $100 million in revenue. So this is also a lot of discussion for me because in the Human Services Committee also work in public health. The staff assured us that there won't be any changes to the hospital's quality of services or cultural competency. And this decision was mainly a financial one to stabilize their budget and operations. District Manager Campbell had asked why was the board so notified pretty late in the process. And they said that they applied for the grant sometime last year and they were ultimately notified in November. So they plan on returning to the board later this year post-transition to give us an update.
Our second presentation was from the New York City Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. So has everyone filed their taxes yet? I haven't either, it's okay. So they provided an overview of the city's free tax prep program, which helps eligible New Yorkers file their taxes at no cost. So the program is here to help residents who qualify claim important tax credits. So services are available both in person and online, and the department wants us, all of you, to help your neighbors, friends, family members spread the word and inform them about this. So those who qualify for these services are people who live and work in New York City. So if you have dependents, your income cannot exceed $97,000. And if you're single without dependents, your income cannot exceed $68,000. So you can go to nyc.gov/tax prep or call 311 and ask for the free tax prep center near you because they're available across the 5 boroughs. Additionally, our committee discussed plans for our upcoming annual nonprofit roundtable. So this is an opportunity where we bring nonprofit service providers together to talk about the needs of the community, the work that they're doing, any service gaps that they've identified within our district. This will be on Tuesday, May 19th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. right here, right, Sean?
That's it.
Okay. So we have a list of nonprofits that we typically invite, but if you know of any new nonprofits or nonprofits that have not been invited in the past, please contact the office to share their information so we can make sure that they are invited on May 19th. And an announcement, to help celebrate National Nutrition Month, the New York City Health Department will have a virtual educational webinar on the basics of healthy eating for older adults. So this is going to be held on Microsoft Teams, and it's on Tuesday, March 24th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. They'll have information about healthy eating, chronic diseases, any resources, additional resources for participants. I believe there are flyers on the back table, or you can contact the district office for the Teams link. And congratulations to the new executive board.
And my co-chair doesn't know that I was about to do this, but I do want to congratulate her on getting a promotion. She does a lot of great work with the Community Preservation Corporation, and one of the things that I do want to bring to this board is just to highlight some of the good stuff members are doing in the community. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Next, we have Community Environment, Cultural Affairs, and Economic Development Committee, followed by Community Safety.
Can you pull up the March calendar?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming. We didn't have a meeting since the last meeting. So Sean's going to give me the date for the next meeting, so you look out for it. My co-chair, Chris, is away at a meeting and he couldn't attend today. So that's it for me. Thanks.
March 16th. March 16th.
Okay, March 16th. Please come out. Please sign on and see you there.
Sorry, Deborah. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Congratulations to the new days. My co-chair, Hindi Bendel, is unable to make it, and of course, my name is Florencia Changajita. Just a couple of items I want to share. We do not have a date for our committee safety meeting. However, Sean will let us know. It will be in the email and it will be on the website. And she will be adding the precinct house to the agenda. So that's a great thing. Also wanted to say that, I'm looking for you over there, Carl. Yeah, I was looking for you at the swearing in. I didn't see you. Joe was there. I saw a number of people, but I didn't see you. But yeah, it was a great thing. And I'm glad that we do have 2 co-chaplains because there is so much going on and our officers do need prayers and their families. I just wanted you to know that more officers have been deployed to our synagogues, mosques, and churches because of what's happening in the world today. So we have more of our officers out there working to keep all of us safe here in our community. The other thing is the precinct community council meeting for those in Sector David will be held. There's a new location, March 25th, Wednesday, March 25th at 7:30 p.m. as usual. However, the location has changed. And we want to thank our council president, Mr. Ed Powell. He's been at this so long, and he is now making changes, as you heard. There will be a legislative breakfast and so many more great things to look forward to. The new council is there. Everybody is on board, and please come out and support. The new location, well, for this month, will be, because we want to really get it going to all the sectors, will be at the Flatbush Central Caribbean Market. That's 2123 Caton Avenue. And please come out. Refreshments will be served. There are 2 restaurants that are catering. It's going to be a good time. And then you get to speak to our CO, and you will see the representative, our elected official representatives will be there. And you have no excuse if you're in Sector David, because now you can walk over, drive over, ride over, however you can get there. And I also want to say thank you. I don't know who nominated me, but I want to say thank you to my community board. I want to say thank you to Sean and to everyone here, because I do what I do because of all of you. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. And let me just, Detective Joseph.
Yes.
He is such a gentle giant of an officer. I kid you not. And he's there fighting for our communities and protecting our communities, fighting crime and protecting us. And it is actually because of him why I'm so active in this community, because I got my church to adopt the 6-7 precinct, so I was very active in that community. However, in this community, he pointed out the areas to me where we needed to do something, and it's because of him. So I want to thank you very much, Detective Joseph.
And now we'll have Housing and Land Use followed by our ad hoc transition committee.
I don't think transition doesn't have a report.
Oh, okay.
Okay. My bad. They have a report. I lied.
Good evening. Greg Alvarez, Melissa Minnick. We're here for Housing and Land Use. So our next meeting is on March 30th, 6:30 p.m. on WebEx, and we have 3 matters, actually, that are going to be on our agenda. First, we have David Rao from Canberra Ventures, who will talk about nonprofit affordable housing development. Number 2, we're going to have Annie Larkin back for the Fund for the City of New York, our planning fellow, to speak about her project update on City of Yes impact on CB14. And then finally, we also are going to have our own Sarah Sklau, Community Coordinator, Brooklyn Community Board 14, who will speak about tenant support and resources. So we're looking forward to that one as well. So everyone, join us March 30th, 6:30 on WebEx. And now, Melissa, go ahead.
And coming up even before that, and even before the Youth Resource Fair, which is, yes, sign up for that. But actually tomorrow night, March 10th, is the rescheduled Hope Count. And the city still needs volunteers, believe it or not. Still needs volunteers. This is the annual homeless outreach population estimate. Anyone who's not familiar with this, it starts at 10 p.m., goes till latest would be 4 a.m. But it's essentially the one night a year that people are out walking every single block, every single street in New York City, asking people, do you have a place to stay? Do you have a place to sleep tonight? Most people will say yes, but for those who don't, they will also be offered a place, a ride to a shelter, because New York City does have right to shelter. But it's something that all cities, well, big and small, that get federal funding, will do to get an estimate of the number of people who are street homeless. We have our daily shelter counts. We have those every single day. They, can look those up, but this is something, like I said, we do once a year. I'll be out. I will be sleeping in the next morning, but I'll also be at the resource fair, just saying. But it's still something. You can actually just go to nyc.gov/hope to learn more and sign up. And there are actually 2 affordable housing workshops coming up as well, which I think all the board members at least should have gotten. But this is something that the Civic Engagement Commission is doing with the Community Center on Urban Pedagogy. But there are 2 online workshops. One, if you don't feel like doing the Hope Count tomorrow night, one's at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night, and one is at 12 p.m. on March 14th, which is a Saturday. And they're specifically looking at how affordable housing can be utilized by community boards and how community boards should really approach this. And sorry, I don't have a website for that. I would just say check out CEC, NYC, CEC, it's the Civic Engagement Commission. They'll have it all listed on there.
Ad hoc committee.
Back again, y'all. I gotta be careful over there. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of everyone with all the wires. Ad hoc committee, I am one of the co-chairs. I'm here with
Nikki Levinson Angulo.
And we just have one quick announcement for you. You want to take it away, Nikki?
Yes. It's 1.5.
Okay.
Because I did want to share that you and I spoke with someone from the CUNY Graduate Center for Place, Culture, and Politics, and it was very funny because they had reached out to Sean and they were like, have you ever heard of this thing called the Future of Community Boards? And Sean was like, I'm on it. So they reached out and they wanted to interview board members about our ideas for training that might help new board members as term limits kick in. So I just wanted to say, if you're like, ooh, I would like to be interviewed, I have strong thoughts on that, you can reach out to Ornella or I, and we can connect you to the gentleman that we spoke with. So that was the 0.5, that was the half. The other one is, everybody look at the table in the back, and then look back to me. And there's a survey, like an old-fashioned paper survey, because we tried sending it out online and no one, well, and that's not true, like 6 people took it. And if you did, I really appreciate you. But does everyone have a paper copy of the survey? Like I know Elena did. Does anyone else, did you see the paper copies? Get one, and the idea is you just like fill it, it's super short, fill it out on the spot, old school, and just give it back to the office staff. And it's asking you about ways that we can better engage board members, better engage the community with the board, and also transfer knowledge so that we're well prepared for term limits. And then the last thing is, what is the date of the Youth Resource Fair? March 11th, there we go.
This has nothing to do with, well, it kind of does. We just spoke about engagement, and I just want to point out, when Nicole said, everyone look to the table, a few people did not look. And if you are sitting on this board, you are here to represent our entire district, so you have to be engaged in this moment. I know it is Monday, the Monday blues are real. You are probably like, I cannot wait for the time to go, but if you're in this space, do know that you have a responsibility to represent your community. So if you're sitting in a seat and you are appointed to a seat, please make sure you're engaged while you're here. It does make a difference whether you're engaged or you're not. So I'm going to try this again. Everyone look to the table back there. Almost 100%. There we go. Much better. So when you show up in this space, y'all, I know, just try to be present, be engaged. It makes a difference in how much we get out of the time we're together.
Thank you all so much. Have a great night, and congratulations again to the new executive committee members.
So now this brings us to our public comment period. Board members are expected to remain for the entire public comment period. Speakers can sign up with, don't have anyone back there? All right, we have everyone signed up already. And for matters of civic interest and announcements of public events are invited. No partisan political appeals or advertising for for-profit enterprises are permitted. Each speaker will be permitted to speak up to 3 minutes, and you may not receive additional time from another speaker. Speakers are directed to address the assembly in the front of the room, and at the conclusion of the 3-minute period, each speaker must return to their seat. The board has no obligation to conduct its business and has an obligation, we are obligated, to conduct our business in an orderly manner, and any person preventing the meeting from continuing may be asked to leave. So it is, and the intention of the public comment period is to permit the board and community a chance to hear diverse perspectives on public issues. So it is now 7:58 p.m. and the first speaker is Portia Edwards, followed by Mary Kay Siri. Portia. All right, Mary Kay, you can come up. All right. Oh.
And 2 long-term announcements. I was just going to do it on April 1st.
You can remind everybody.
I can remind everybody. So we have a paper shredding event at the Assembly Member's Office on April 30th with the Department of Sanitation. So right after you're done with your taxes, come on down. And then on May 3rd, we're having in Prospect Park on Sunday, May 3rd, we're having our annual Spring Clean and Green event where we're going to have textile recycling, e-cycling, paper shredding, and tons of city agencies, cultural institutions, and other organizations giving giveaways, demonstrations, passing along information. So it's our 5th year we've figured out, and it's been getting bigger and bigger every year, and it's a great event. So hope you'll come, and look forward to seeing you in April. Thank you. Sorry?
The date of the second event you mentioned?
May 3rd.
May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Next, we have Maura Johnson, followed by Tyrone McDonald.
everyone. My name is Mara Johnson. I'm the Assistant Brand Manager at the Flatbush branch of Brooklyn Public Library. Thank you so much for the time tonight. I just wanted to share a few announcements from the library about upcoming programs this spring. In particular, I wanted to highlight that we have a workshop series this March, every Thursday, starting this Thursday, with 3 local poets. They're free creative writing workshops, and they are all open to the public, so please share if you want to get a little creative at the library. Again, that starts 6:30 every Thursday. We also have a special story time with Councilmember Rita Joseph later this month in honor of Women's History Month. That's going to be on Thursday, the 26th at 11 a.m. And finally, we're also offering free tax help at the branch through Single Stop. They're at our branch every Friday and Saturday all day by appointment. If people need help making appointments, they can come to the branch for help, or they can find the reservation form on our website. And that's open for anyone making $80,000 or less. And last but not least, we have a special series of mending workshops starting next month in honor of Earth Day. And so we'll be teaching with local teaching artists a series of workshops for about 9 weeks straight on Thursday evenings, open to all ages, but all about how to mend your own clothing and give new life to old objects in your house. So please stop by the library if you're at all interested in any of our programs, and I also put flyers for a bunch of upcoming events on the table in the back. Thank you guys so much.
Do we have Tyrone McDonald?
Good evening, everyone. How you doing today?
Good evening.
Good, good. Welcome to the new executive board. Just thank you for the time. I'm Tyrone McDonald with Neighborhood Housing Services of Brooklyn. Just want to make a couple of announcements. Generally, we're having our monthly homebuyer orientation on March the 10th. So it's going to be March the 10th at 6 p.m. It's virtual, so you can always visit our website at nhsbrooklyn.org. You know, we talk about mortgages, getting started, down payment assistance, which is very popular. Speaking of the Flatbush Library, just want to let you know that on March the 26th, we're having a lunch and learn on blood pressure. So we're just going to talk about what the numbers mean, dispel some myths, and do some blood pressure readings. That's going to be on March the 26th from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Flatbush Library at 22 Linden Boulevard, near the corner of Flatbush Avenue on the 2nd floor. Just want to let you know that tomorrow, I don't know if anybody here is familiar with Clarkson Estates. It's actually a housing lottery, not Housing Connect. It's actually a state housing lottery at 329 Clarkson, which is very close to downstate. Well, the deadline to apply is actually tomorrow. So that means if you have a paper application, it should be postmarked by tomorrow, or it's probably best to apply online. And to apply online, you go to NY Housing Search. It's all one word, nyhousingsearch.gov. Okay? If you have any questions, you can also call NHS Brooklyn, because we do have paper applications. Just fill it out quickly and just run to the post office to get it postmarked. And we're at 2806 Church Avenue. Lastly, I do want to let you know that on March the 15th is the deadline for property tax exemptions. So if you want to apply for any new property tax exemptions for homeowners, or if you want to challenge your assessed value, the 15th is the deadline. You can also call us for more information on that at 718-469-4679. I'll stick around if you want to talk offline. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the weather.
Next we'll have Carol Ann Church, followed by Kadeem Phillip.
Special guest star.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Brent will be back next month. He just couldn't make it tonight, so it's by pure accident I'm here. But it's a great night to be here to witness the passing of the baton from the very capable, energetic advocate Carl Henry on to Gerald. I expect I will see the same enthusiasm because that's just what Community Board 14 gives. Yes. From your district office, which is very well run operationally, bureaucratically, Sean is on point, and to the board that, you know, you are indeed a model for other community boards, maybe across the city. I can't speak for them, but definitely in Brooklyn, by creating a robust transition plan, which means you're not going to just get left in the lurch trying to figure it out next year when the first round of term limits hit. So I really appreciate it, and it's indeed a pleasure to be here tonight representing our borough president, Antonio Reynoso. I have a few events I'd like to, and services I'd like to announce. For persons who might be at risk of losing SNAP benefits, we have a very robust information page on our website. And I left some flyers. There's a QR code. There's a phone number where folks can get more information. Please, it might not be you, but there might be someone in your circle that needs this information, so please share. Another thing is the borough president is looking to honor the women of Brooklyn in this History Month, and we're encouraging nominations of Brooklyn women who lead in the areas of ministry and faith, civics, academia, and student leadership. Nominations are due by March 16th. Again, there are flyers on the table with a QR code, and you can also visit our website. We're partnering with the Department for the Aging and the Brooklyn Public Library to host the second annual Talent Connect Hiring Hall, and this is for older adults mainly. March 11, that's this week, sorry Sean, but they can still come to the youth fair because it's from 12 noon to 3 p.m. at the central branch of the Brooklyn Public Library. We have decided to schedule regularly our ULURP reviews, so now they are on the second Wednesday of the month. If there's a ULURP that comes before your board or any other part of the borough, it's always going to be, generally going to be the second Wednesday of the month. Please check our website for further details if there's a ULURP that you'd like to attend. And we do have a list, again, we have a flyer with the list of dates for the rest of the year. Sometimes things go a little off schedule, so we might have it another day, but, and yeah, again, if you earn 97,000, less than 97,000, if with dependents, or 68,000, as a single person, free tax prep. You've heard it all night. We're also offering at Borough Hall every Monday and Wednesday through April 8th. You do need to call to make an appointment. Again, there are flyers with all the contact information on the table, and it's also in different languages. We have it in Spanish, French, Creole, English, and Chinese. So that's it from me. Congratulations, Jarrell. I look forward to seeing you at our Borough Board meeting in April.
It's in the calendar.
Thank you, everyone.
Kadeem? Can we just give Kadeem a round of applause? He has some exceptional handwriting.
I appreciate the compliment on my handwriting. Hi, everyone. If you have not seen me before, my name is Kadeem Phillip. I am the parent ambassador for Brooklyn Dreams Charter School. As they definitely have said on Thursday, I gave a presentation just a little bit more in-depth. If you want to check out the WebEx, it's a little bit longer than me up here, but just wanted to let you know that we currently have our enrollment open until about April 1st. And then after that, we host our lottery. So right now, we are welcoming anyone. If you know anyone that's currently looking for a school for their child to go to, that's K-8. It's a tuition-free charter school. We have after school. We have some help with any students who may have any learning disabilities or need extra assistance, we have all of that. There are some flyers in the back just to let you know to schedule a more in-depth tour. Usually my tours can be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, and I'll be more than happy to meet and accommodate anybody. So thank you.
Next, we'll have Brian Grady, followed by Noam Abrams.
Hi, good evening. I'm Brian Grady with Councilmember Rita Joseph's office. There's a phone up here if that belongs to anyone. I want to start by thanking the outgoing executive committee and Carl for their excellent work and saying congrats to Jarrell and the incoming exec committee. And thank you, as always, to Community Board 14 for all of your partnership with our office. I want to start by, on behalf of Councilmember Joseph, I hope that everyone had a happy Holi and a happy Purim, happy and blessed Ramadan and Lent to those observing. And by the time we meet, we'll already be to Passover and Easter, so happy Passover and Easter to everyone. The first two things I have to announce have already been announced, so please come to the Youth Fair on Wednesday, March 11th at 3:30. Which Councilmember Joseph is proud to co-sponsor. And then our Women's History Month story time at the Flatbush Library. So those flyers are in the back if you're interested. Councilmember Joseph is also going to be hosting her State of the District event. This is going to be on Sunday, March 29th at MS 890 at 21 Hinckley Place. Doors open at 4:30 and the program will begin at 5. If you want to RSVP, need to do so by March 20th. My colleague's email is on the flyer, or you can just give our office a call. Our office, I think I've mentioned this before, but just want to make sure folks are aware that our office now has a representative from the VFW on site the first Monday of every month. So they're there to help assist with services such as health benefits, dependent benefits, education benefits, home loans, and other state and local benefits for veterans. So please give us a call or email. The details are on the flyer if you or anyone you know would benefit from those services. Our office is sponsoring a food and essentials distribution with the Caribbean Equality Project. The next of these will be on Saturday, March 21st at PS 6. That's at 43 Snyder Avenue. These distributions are first come, first served, and please bring a cart. As usual, our office is open Monday through Thursday from 10 to 5 to assist with New York City agency inquiries, housing services, immigration services, and any other constituent concerns. And we're located at 930 Flatbush Avenue and can be reached at 718-287-8762. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Noam Abrahams with Senator Sutton's office. It's spring for at least the next week. You really never know these days, which means that it's almost summer, which means that it's deadline season. You already heard about the property tax abatements and exemptions that have their deadline coming up, as well as the Summer Youth Employment Program deadline is March 13th, which is also this week. So if you are still hoping to apply or you know someone who is, we're here to help. Make sure you get that in on time. In terms of events, we're proud to host free electronics and textiles recycling on 60th Street between 15th and 16th Avenues on Sunday, March 15th. You can drop off TVs, computers, laptops, printers, fax machines, as well as textiles like clothing or towels, and they will take them away and make sure that they get recycled. And then on March 16th, because we really like keeping these close together, we're hosting free immigration consultations with the trained immigration attorneys at Cone, Tucker, and Aids Immigration Law. Please call to book an appointment. These appointments are free. They will go over any type of immigration case you need, and they are trained, normally pretty expensive attorneys. So please take advantage of this program. You can book an appointment by calling our office at 718-253-2015. And then on the 18th, we are hosting, again, staff from Congresswoman Yvette Clarke's office for mobile office hours. So if you need any help with a federal agency, be it the IRS, tax season's coming up, or the Department of Labor, please reach out, book an appointment either with our office or with Clark's office directly. You can stop by our office at 1412 Avenue J. Last month, I talked about the New York Senate's Youth Leadership Recognition Program, but this month is the New York State Senate's Educator Recognition Program, honoring the outstanding contributions of educators who go above and beyond in their commitment to student success. Nominations are due by March 31st. You can nominate on your respective state senator's website, which is their last name.nysenate.gov. If your respective state senator is our office, that'd be really great. But please, if you know a teacher, maybe one who's going to, I hear there's this youth resource fair people keep telling me about. That's going above and beyond, right? And that would be a great person to nominate. So I really encourage you to think about a great teacher in your community. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Royson Ford, followed by Jay Taubman.
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to share briefly that I ended up going to the Brooklyn Borough President event last week, or start of this week, that Britt told us about last week. I was held at Borough Hall and discussed low traffic neighborhoods as a concept. So just wanted to mention that to the board, that they had a couple presenters from a nonprofit as well as a planner that presented some possible ideas of how that would look like in New York City and gave some examples of other locations where they've done that. So that's all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's you, Jay.
Jay didn't know for sure.
Cautiously approach.
Yeah. Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay Taubman. I'm adult librarian and assistant branch manager at Cortellia Branch. Greetings from Brooklyn Public Library.
Woo.
Okay, I'll say it with more enthusiasm. Greetings from Brooklyn Public Library.
Woo.
Yes. So I'm going to be attending the Flatbush Youth Resource Fair this Wednesday, which I'm greatly looking forward to. Round of applause for that. Also, I hope I get all the holidays here. Happy Women's History Month. And remember the great contributions of women in every part of our society. Also, happy Holi for those who celebrate. Happy Ramadan. Happy Purim. Happy Lent, and any other that I may have omitted to mention. Happy holiday. Also, I'm going to be mentioning some of our programs at the Cortellia branch. So we're going to be having a listening session this coming Thursday between 1 and 3 p.m., Thursday, March 12th. Today was the last day of RSVP, but you can still email me. I put some letters out. It's jtaubman@bkoinlibrary.org. You can email me, and I'll send you the invite. We're going to be having our listening session in preparation for the Brooklyn Museum on Wheels coming on Brooklyn Queens Day, and we want to invite members of the community to come out and discuss with the people going to our listening session what kind of exhibitions and what kind of programs we would like to have for this coming June. So that's why we're going to have a listening session. So we're encouraging members of the community to come out and RSVP if possible. Besides that, we're also having other, pardon my throat, we're having other programs coming up. Home safety for older adults with Dakaya Slaughter, who is Associate Director of Healthcare Standard and Injury Prevention Coordinator at Kings County Hospital on Friday, March 27th, between 1 and 2 p.m. in our meeting room. We're also going to be having another exciting program coming up Ready Set Kindergarten, which actually is already happening. We're having it for all 4 Saturdays of March and the last 2 Saturdays of April. This is for children who are getting ready to attend kindergarten. And last but not least, we're going to be having a program on gut health, the link between gut and health, encouraging healthy eating, including eating foods with fiber, drinking a lot of water, and so on and so forth. And this program is going to be taking place on Saturday, March 21st, between 1 and 2:30 p.m. in our meeting room. So I encourage everyone to come out for these and other worthy programs that we are having. The flyers and all the information is on the table. And I encourage everyone to come to our library and also to the other branches of Brooklyn Public Library, because this is where our community is served. And also we have tax assistance at the Central Library and other branches, including the Flatbush branch and other branches as well. So I just wanted to let people know about these worthy programs. Next month, I'm expecting that we're going to be having a resumption of ESOL classes. This week will be our last class for the semester, but next semester starts in April. So thank you very much, and I wish everyone a blessed month. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Sabrina DeJost, followed by Taisha Allen.
Yeah, I was waiting to see who was going to do it.
She's always that helpful.
Okay. Sorry. Ooh. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Sabrina. I'm the Director of Constituent Services for New York City Councilmember Farrah Lewis. Thank you for allowing me the chance to speak. I just want to say congratulations and welcome to the new executive board. So the second vice chair actually mentioned a comment about Monday blues. Happy Monday, first of all, because it was about 70-degree weather today, so there should have been no Monday blues, realistically. So, but definitely wanted to just hop on that comment. And then now going into the Clarkson Estates comment that Tyrone McDonald mentioned. So as he mentioned, the deadline is quickly approaching. So our office actually does have paper applications. We've been giving them out through our housing programs that provide on-site assistance at our office every Wednesday. So if you would like access to those paper applications, we do have them along with the eligibility requirements. So you can stop by our office located at 1434 Flatbush Avenue to acquire some of those paper applications, or go to NHS Brooklyn. So now going into some updates. So we have the One Kenilworth Shelter in Community Board 14. We had a community advisory board that took place just a few weeks ago. District Manager Campbell was in attendance along with other community stakeholders. That CAB meeting has been reactivated because of the high turnover rate at that shelter. So we are working closely ourselves, Community Board 14 and Department of Homeless Services to reactivate the advisory board because it needs to be updated. Next, we have the property tax exemption workshops we hosted. As it's been mentioned, the deadline is March 15th, along with the ability to dispute or challenge the assessed value. Our office hosted 3 workshops, 2 virtual informational sessions, along with 1 in-person session at our office for the first time actually at our office, and we had over 75 people registered. Our office, if you've ever been, it's kind of tiny, so how we managed that was very interesting. We actually were in this workshop took place at our office, obviously, in partnership with Department of Finance, NHS Brooklyn, Live On New York, and some other entities to make it happen. And it was actually phenomenal. They got on-site assistance. So thank you to our partners that assisted for that day. Next, the IBX. It was mentioned when I walked in. I did come in a little bit late. I attended an IBX briefing at Borough Hall a few weeks ago, where they mentioned to kind of do more community engagement, because we're not seeing this project for the foreseeable future, for not until a couple of years down the line. But as they prepare, they want to have more community engagement. So they're supposed to start that back in the spring and presenting at community boards, along with the ability to connect with local civic groups and local groups in the community. So if you would like a representative from MTA to be present at any one of your upcoming meetings, please let us know so that we can let them know to be involved in those conversations. Because in District 45, we have 2 stops along the IBX, so it's very crucial that they have those conversations with our community members. That is very, very crucial for us. Next, going into the snow blizzard that happened a few weeks ago. Thank God snow is over at this point in time. That was a very chaotic point in our life. We haven't experienced snow like that in a very long time. So with that, I think this second snowstorm caused a lot of issues for our local schools and residents. Outside of the snow removal, we had a lot of power outages. So I want to give a shout out to DSNY and the 70th Precinct, because CB14, they actually accommodated a lot of bus removal for certain bus stops in the district that were reported to the office, along with the 70th Precinct with outages, mainly at Flatbush Avenue and Avenue H. So they were able to support with traffic maintenance around that time. And additionally, we have Plaza Auto Mall, where we got complaints about there, and we reached out directly to Plaza Auto Mall to address the snow removal along their blocks because the corners had mounts of snow, but were not being properly cleaned. So that was addressed as soon as it was brought to our attention. So we're thankful for the community for communicating that with us.
Thanks, Sabrina.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. All right, that is literally all I have to say now. Thank you so much.
This used to go beep, 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 beep.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I have to come behind a tall person. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the new executive board. Congratulations. Good to see you all. I just want to see, for those who took part in the Purim festivities last week, I hope you had a wonderful time celebrating with family and community. And those who are currently observing Ramadan, we continue to wish you a month of peace, reflection, and blessings for you and your families as you continue through this holy time. We also want to acknowledge those who are observing Lent, and we send our best wishes to everyone preparing for the upcoming celebrations later this month, St. Patrick's Day, and the start of Holy Week. The Assembly member herself has been working tirelessly for the district most recently, and I will say this in partnership with Councilmember Farrah Lewis. They held a fantastic community celebration at the new Shirley Chisholm Recreation Center. It was wonderful to see so many families enjoying the new festivities and the resources in the heart of the community there. In celebration of Women's History Month, this Thursday, March 12th, we have our Honoring Our Sheroes Women of Distinction ceremony, in which we will be honoring 8 dynamic women in our community, in which I am excited and so happy to share that 2 of the honorees is in this audience. Our very own Florencia Chenga Gaeta will be receiving a well-deserved community award, community engagement award. And also Rosine Ford, who will be receiving the Environmental Activism Award. The celebration will be held at the Brooklyn College Library in Woody Tanger Auditorium from 6 to 8 p.m. We are expecting a packed house as we are at capacity, so seating is first come, first serve, and seats are limited, but I do hope to see everyone that I see tonight there as well. Announcements are short. So as always, our district is always here to serve you. And if you have any concerns, you can see myself at the end, or you can call our office 718-940-0428. We do go by appointments early, but you're more than welcome to say hello. Just stop by 1312 Flatbush Avenue. We're near the corner of Foster, right in front of the B41 bus time. But I do want to say thank you for your time, and I yield the floor and grab one of these. You never know who may not show up, so definitely come out.
And lastly, we'll have Wayne Rosenfeld.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Congratulations to the new board, and you're welcome here. Everyone's welcome here forever, so keep on using us. And
So kind.
thank you. Somebody has to keep the room filled. But anyway, so as everybody could see, we fully have operational security doors out front. So besides our wonderful 70th precinct here, we have, you're all safe with the doors. It's locked down 24/7. So those are now working. Swimming, we have open swim hours, and we have a swim lesson company. So if anybody has children, grandchildren, friends, neighbors want to give a swim lesson to, we do have a swim company that gives swim lessons here. We have swimming 4 days a week. So take a look at the front door on the way out, you'll see the flyers. Basketball, everybody that wants to get in shape with the spring coming, we do have basketball rentals. Guys, girls, both together, we charge $90 an hour. We do have evening and Sundays available. Please reach out and contact me, ask for Wayne, and I'll be happy to rent to you. It has to be over 18 years old, so if any of your kids want to do it, somebody's got to be with them. Next, summer camps. We do rent to summer camps, and we do have a spot in the morning open, so if any of you know of a camp that needs a place, we have a gymnasium and an indoor pool. So reach out in the next week or two before it goes. We have an active DFTA-funded senior center. I don't know if everybody knows that. Did everybody know we have a senior center?
I did. Yeah.
Lunch, activities, it's funded by DFTA. So if you're of senior age, what is senior age these days? Okay, if you're of senior age, please check in with the senior department. It is a very active center, and we cook right here, and they serve lunches every day. Lastly, I will be attending the youth fair.
Yay.
I think this is my 4th year doing interviews, something like that. So hopefully I don't harm any more children this year trying to, but anyway, just kidding. I'm very proud to take part in it every year. It's a well attended event, so I encourage everybody to come down. And thank you and have a wonderful night.
So with that, I want to thank Wayne Rosenfeld and the East Midwood Jewish Center for hosting us in our meeting, and as well as Mark Moss for live streaming this meeting. Can we give them a round of applause? And before I conclude this meeting, I do want to say hi, Mom. But that brings us to the end of the, that one. Hi, Mom. And that brings us to the end of the public comment period. Whew. And the meeting is adjourned. Do I got it? You sure?
You. First meeting in the bag. How you feel?
I'm glad I got it out the way. Appreciate you. Thank you.